I want to start by telling a story about my grandfather, Anton Geurts, or Opa Toon, as we used to call him. My grandfather used to be my hero when I was growing up. He would tell me stories about the time long before I was born that him and his friends would go out and create boats and gym equipment from barrels they found after the war, until he eventually got so good at kayak racing that he was flying all over the world to attend kayak events and win prizes. You can imagine this is fuel for a lot of good stories, especially the ones where he was flying in dodgy airplanes across the world in the early years of aviation. He even attended 4 different Olympic Games in Vancouver, Canada, Rome, Italy, Mexico City, Mexico, and Tokyo, Japan. From where he brought back his silver medal. So yeah, bringing back this silver medal turned him into not only my hero, but the hero of the entire village. So when he got back and the celebrations went on, he even got a bike from the mayor, which was quite a thing back then. But yeah, as my grandfather got older, he started forgetting more and more of these moments, and the stories that he used to tell us, we were now completing and filling in the gaps, and we noticed something was not right, and we asked him to go see a doctor, and he told us what we were already thinking. This was dementia, Alzheimer's disease. So from there on, it went downhill pretty fast, and So my grandfather eventually could no longer live at his house, and we had to bring him to a nursing house a couple blocks down the road. And so in this nursing house, we had to bring him to this table in the shared living room where he was sitting with 8 or 9 people that he did not know, I did not know, and who could not tell who they were or where they were from. So this was kind of a strange situation, knowing that my grandfather would be there for the rest of his life and share this shared living room with these people without really knowing them. And especially knowing that once we left there, my grandfather, who always been my hero, would be one of these anonymous people sitting in this room, when my family is not around. So I started doing some research, and I found out that my grandfather was not the only one with this story. In the Netherlands alone, every hour, 5 people get the same diagnosis. And after getting this diagnosis, people tend to live another 8 years on average. So if you add these numbers up, 280,000 people at this moment in the Netherlands alone have similar stories as the one I just told. And if we don't find a solution quick, this will add up to over 500,000 just 20 years from now. So, as you can imagine, these numbers add up to quite a lot of visits to care houses just like this, and a lot of bland and boring conversations about what did you have for dinner or who else been visiting you today, without making real connection, because you don't know them and they cannot tell you who they are or where they are from. For example, there is this one man sitting in the corner of this shared living room my grandfather was sitting in, and yeah, I also thought of him as kind of shady, and not having any contact with him, and I kept my distance. He was not having much contact with anyone at all. So at some point I even saw him take a pen from the sleeve of some of the people working there and putting them in his own drawer, and I was thinking, is this man stealing stuff? Should I say something about it, or is this normal behavior? Well, turned out that after I spoke with the girl working there, and she told me, no, this man is not that strange at all. He used to be a debt collector, so we just let him relive his working day. He takes his stuff, puts it in his drawer, and at the end of the day, we take the stuff back, and he has had his working day, and it helps keep him calm. So, realizing this man was not that strange at all. I could approach him, and I had something to talk about. Just this little bit of background information completely changed the way I was interacting with this man. I could go up to him, and ask him how he was, what stuff he'd done during his work as a debt collector. And while doing so, I saw him opening up and get a spark in his eyes. That was the first time I made a real connection, because I mentioned something that has really interested him during his life. Trying to give, this was such a powerful moment that I'm trying to give this moment to other people in the same situation. So I'm working on an application together with the Dutch Alzheimer Foundation that will enable friends and family of someone with dementia to create conversation starters. So they can collect photos, stories, music from someone's past, and make this available for people getting in touch with their loved ones with dementia. So they can pick it up, scroll through these conversation starters, and see what interested them during their life. Have just this little bit of background information to spark real conversation. So they can approach someone and talk about something that has interested this one person during his life. And by doing so, I hope to improve thousands of conversations every day between friends, family, staff, and people with dementia. Thanks for listening.